Hello everyone and welcome to the final part of the Gift of Christmas Cal. This week I'm going to show you how to join your blocks together, add a border and make some really fun and easy tassels. Okay, let's wrap things up.
Okay, so let's take a closer look at the joining. I've got 4 random blocks here that I'm going to show you how to join, but you can either follow the layout in the pattern for your blocks or you can make up your own layout. It's entirely up to you how you want to lay them out and join them together. And we're going to start with the vertical joins. And it doesn't matter what order you make your joins in. You can work from left to right across the blanket or right to left if you prefer. So I'm just going to pop these aside for a moment. And we're going to begin joining the first 2 blocks. So I'm going to flip this one over. So I have the right sides of my first 2 blocks facing, and I've got my background colour yarn. I'm going to make a loop and then I'm going to put my hook through the corner space, so the 2 chain space in the corner of both blocks. So through one and through the other, and then pull the loop through, and I'm going to make my first double crochet with the yarn from the ball and the tail just to secure it in place. There we go. And I'm now going to make 1 double crochet in each stitch along the side of the block. So pop your hook into the first stitch through both loops and then into the corresponding stitch on the block below, so under the first 2 loops. And then double crochet, and then in the next stitch, so the next stitch along, my hook under both loops, and then the next stitch on my block. And I'm just going to keep working along under all 4 loops all the way up my block. Here we go. So I've got 1 more stitch and now I'm at the next corner space. So I'm going to put my hook through both corner spaces and make a double crochet. So there is my first 2 blocks joined. And I'm not going to fasten off, I'm going to carry straight on with the next 2 blocks. So here are my next 2 blocks. So right side's facing again, and I'm going to carry on with a double crochet through the corner spaces of the next 2 blocks. So hook through the first corner space, hook through the second corner space, and double crochet. So now the 2 blocks, 2 sets of blocks are joined together, and then I can just carry on with 1 double crochet in each stitch. And I'm going to show you some magic here, because these 2 blocks, they look like they're different sizes and they aren't going to fit together. This one is a bit smaller than this one. I'm just matching up these stitches. Nearly there. One more. And in the corner space. And because the stitch counts are the same, it just magically fits together. And if we just open this out, can you see how nicely those edges just sit together? And when we add the horizontal joins, all the blocks will just sit together nicely. So you're going to continue adding blocks to make your horizontal join, and then you're going to repeat for the other vertical joins by adding the next row of blocks, right sides together, and double crochet them together. When you've completed all of your vertical joins, it's then time to do the horizontal joins, and you do this by just placing right sides together again and working along the seam in the same way. So I'll just show you a horizontal join as well. So start in the same way through both corner spaces, and I'm just going to make one double crochet in each stitch. So that's my last stitch, and I'm at the corner spaces now. So I'm going to make one double crochet in the first corner space, and then I'm going to jump over the vertical seam into the next corner space. There are no chains or anything in between, just jump straight across with another double crochet, and then you can continue along the side of the block. And you're going to repeat this for all of the horizontal joins in your blanket. Just going to fasten off. Here are my 4 blocks joined, and you can see what a lovely tidy seam the double crochet gives. I really like this method of joining. It's just so neat. And then if we flip it over, get all my tails out of the way, you can see that on the back it's nice and tidy as well, and it gives a really flat seam. It's time to add the border now, and I'm going to start in one of the corners, and any corner, doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to pop my hook into the corner space and pull up a loop. And we're going to make a round of treble crochet all around the blanket first, and we're going to start with a 2 chain that counts as the first treble. So I'm going to make my first chain with the yarn from the ball and the tail just to secure it in place, and then another chain. So that's my first treble, and now I'm going to make 1 treble in each stitch along the side of the block. So 1 treble crochet in each double crochet. So here we are at the place where 2 blocks join, and I'm just going to make 1 treble crochet in the corner space of the first, and then 1 treble crochet in the corner space of the next block. So there's nothing special going on here. You're just making 1 treble crochet in each double crochet and 1 treble crochet in each corner space. And I'm just going to stop here for a moment and show you my stitches. So your treble crochet stitches should be laying nice and flat. If you find that your stitches look wavy, so if they're sticking up like this and the side of your block isn't laying flat, then you can try going down to a slightly smaller hook. So if you're using a 4mm hook, try this first round of the border with a 3.5mm hook, and those slightly tighter stitches should help it to sit flat. Going to carry on now. And the pattern does give a stitch count for this first round of the border, but as long as your stitch count was correct on each block, and as long as you're just making your 1 stitch in each double crochet and 1 stitch in each corner space, you don't really need to count them all. It's not absolutely essential, and it won't matter too much in the next round if your stitch count is slightly out. There are ways to make it work. So I'm at the corner now, and for the corner I'm going to make 1 treble crochet, 2 chains and 1 treble crochet in the same corner space to turn the corner, and then carry on with 1 treble in each stitch. And you're just going to do this all the way around the edge of your blanket. Right, okay, so I've been all the way around the edge of my blanket with treble crochets, and I'm back at the corner space I started in. So I'm going to finish off round 1 with a treble crochet in the corner space, 2 chains, and then slip stitch under both loops of the first treble crochet. So there's my first round. And now I'm going to chain 2, and again this counts as our first treble of round 2, and then I'm going to turn. So I've now got the wrong side of the blanket facing me, and this is a granny round, and we're going to start off with a corner. So this is my first treble, and I'm going to make 2 more into the corner space. And then chain 2 and make 3 more trebles into the same space. So all of these stitches in the border are just echoing the other stitches that we've used so far in the blanket. So there's my little granny corner. And I'm going to skip 1 stitch. So I'm going to skip this first stitch and then make 3 treble crochet in the next stitch along. So skip 1 and then 3 treble crochet in the same stitch. And now I'm going to skip 2 stitches and make 3 treble crochet in the next stitch. And we're then going to repeat this all the way along the side. So skip 2 stitches, so skip 1, 2, and then 3 treble crochet in the third stitch. And I'm going to repeat this until 1 stitch remains. So skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then 3 treble crochet in the third stitch, and so on. One, two, three. So now I have 1 stitch remaining, and I'm going to skip that stitch and make a corner. So that's 3 treble crochet, 2 chains and 3 treble crochet. And if you get to this corner and you find that you haven't got 1 stitch to skip, if you find you've got 2 stitches or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to show at all in the finished blanket. So just carry on with your treble crochets. It really doesn't matter, and it's not going to affect the finished blanket. So don't worry about the stitch count too much. And I'm now going to repeat for the remaining side. So I'm going to skip 1 stitch and 3 treble crochet, and then skip 2 stitches, 3 treble crochet in the next stitch, and then repeat that. So skip 2 stitches, 3 treble crochet, skip 2 stitches, 3 treble crochet, etc. So skip 2 stitches and 3 treble crochet in the next stitch, and then skip the last stitch and slip stitch under both loops of the first treble. And I can fasten off here. So just flip back over to the right side. So that's round 2 complete. And rounds 3 and 4 are just 2 rounds of double crochet, and they are worked with the right side facing you, both rounds. And that's 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And in each corner you have 1 double crochet, 2 chains and 1 double crochet in the same corner space to form the corners. I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to make tassels. These are completely optional, but if you want to add them to your blanket, they're really simple to make. So you're going to need a piece of cardboard, and it needs to be about the same width as you want the length of your tassels to be. And you can use anything for this really. You could use a book or a notepad, or something like a plastic lid, anything that's about the right width so you can wrap yarn around it to make a tassel. So here's my piece of cardboard, and I've got all of the shades of yarn that I've used in the blanket, and I'm going to wrap them around the cardboard to make my tassel. So I'm going to start by laying the yarn across the cardboard so the ends are hanging off, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around the cardboard 4 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not doing this too tightly. I'm not really stretching the yarn. So now I can take my scissors, which I seem to have lost. Hold on. I'm back, and I can just snip this yarn off, keep these together for the next one. So I've got one of the colours, and I'm going to cut a piece that's about, what's that, about 40 centimetres, and I'm going to thread it underneath the yarns on the cardboard and just tie a double knot to secure the top of the tassel. There we go, so that's the top of my tassel secure. Now I can slide the yarn off of the cardboard. And I'm now going to take another piece of yarn, and I'm going to tie this yarn around the top of the tassel to make the little bobble at the top of the tassel. So it's about 1 centimetre down, I would say. Tie it nice and tightly, and then these tails from the yarn that you've just tied, they can just hang down with the other yarns in the tassel. And now all we need to do is to cut the loops. So I'm just going to pop my scissors in and just snip the loops of yarn at the end of the tassel. And now I'm just going to squeeze the ends of the tassel between my finger and thumb like this, and just give it a little prune. So there we go, we have a nice, neat, tidy tassel. And these tails we're going to use to attach it to the blanket. To finish off, I'm going to join my tassel into the corner space of the blanket. And I'm going to do this by threading both of the tails left from tying the top of the tassel onto a yarn needle, and with the right side of the blanket facing me, I'm going to put the needle from the top downwards through the corner space of the blanket and pull through so the tassel is against the corner, and then flip over. And on the reverse, I'm going to sew the tails into the back of round 3 of the border, so the red round. I'm just weaving the needle under the back of the stitches. And you just want to make sure that you're going through the back of the stitches and you're not going to be able to see it on the front of the blanket. Just go under a few stitches. Oops. And then I'm just going to go back the other way as well. And if you want it to be extra secure, you can go in the other direction as well. There we go. Snip that off, and there is my tassel firmly attached to the corner of the blanket. And we're done. I really hope you've enjoyed making along with me over the last few weeks and that you're beginning to get into the Christmas spirit. Happy Christmas, everyone.